All right, let's talk about the future. Specifically, what's it going to take for nonprofit sponsorship programs to really succeed, not just get by in 2026? Things are changing fast. Donor expectations are different, technology is leaping forward, so let's dive in and figure out how to build a program that's actually ready for what's next. So, right off the bat, you have to ask yourself this really big question. Is your fundraising program built for 2026? Because let's be honest, the old playbook, it just doesn't cut it anymore. Let's take a look at some of the major hurdles organizations are up against right now. First up, trust, or maybe the lack of it. Think about this. As of 2023, only 52% of Americans actually trust nonprofits. That's a huge drop. That means trust is at a premium. Being transparent and proving your impact isn't just a nice little bonus anymore, it's absolutely critical for survival. And get ready for this number. A whopping 94% of people who just stop engaging with an organization, they say it's because of irrelevant communication. I mean, think about it. Generic, one-size-fits-all emails are literally pushing your donors away. People expect to be treated like, well, people, not just another number on a spreadsheet. So what's the result of all this? Well, nonprofits are only holding on to 43 out of every 100 donors each year. That's a classic leaky bucket problem, and no organization can keep filling a bucket that's losing that much water. So the real question is, how do we plug the holes? The way forward is built on three main pillars, and we're going to start with the foundation. And that brings us to our very first pillar, your modern tech toolkit. We're talking about using technology not just as some kind of add-on, but as the actual core of your strategy. It's the foundation for everything else. Okay, let's do a quick compare and contrast. The old way, you know what I'm talking about. Scattered spreadsheets everywhere, endless manual tasks that drain your time, and those generic emails that, let's face it, nobody reads. The new way, though, it's a total game changer. We're talking centralized CRMs that give you the full picture, AI-powered automation that handles all that repetitive stuff for you, and truly personalized engagement that makes every single donor feel seen and valued. And hey, this isn't just some pie-in-the-sky idea. The data backs it up. Nonprofits that are actually embracing these AI-powered tools are seeing some incredible results. A 40% cut in admin costs, a 30% jump in revenue, and a massive 85% boost in donor engagement. I mean, those are real, tangible numbers you can take to the bank. And this is the perfect example of what I'm talking about. Look at UNICEF. Back in 2024, they rolled out this smart matching algorithm for their child sponsorship program. The results were just wow. A 45% increase in successful matches, and they slashed their administrative time by 60%, all because they let automated data analysis do the heavy lifting. That's what we mean by working smarter, not harder. This kind of tech is what lets you really perfect that modern donor cycle. Ask, thank, report, and then repeat. With a solid CRM and some smart automation, you can make sure every donor gets a personalized impact report. You're showing them exactly where their money went before you even think about asking for another gift. That's how you build a powerful, unbreakable loop of trust and loyalty. Okay, so we've got the engine, the technology. Now let's talk about the fuel. This brings us to our second pillar, connecting through stories. It's all about using that amazing tech to create better, more meaningful human connections and doing it at scale. Oh, I absolutely love this quote from Rob Burke at DonorDot because it just nails this idea perfectly. He says, "Tools don't build relationships, you do." Right? The technology itself isn't the point, it's the enabler. It's what frees up your time from all those mind-numbing manual tasks so you can actually focus on what matters most, building genuine human connections. So why are stories so powerful? It's literally baked into our biology. Our brains are hardwired for narrative. In fact, get this, stories are 22 times more memorable than just plain old facts. When we hear a really good story, our brain releases oxytocin, which is the hormone that boosts empathy and generosity. It literally, chemically, makes us want to help. Now, a really important trend for 2026 is a much more ethical way of doing this, and it's called asset-based storytelling. Instead of just focusing on struggles, this approach highlights the strengths, the resilience, and the amazing capabilities of the people you serve. It's a much more dignified, more empowering way to share their stories. And the impact of getting this right is just, it's huge. Nonprofits that really master this data-driven storytelling can see up to a 400% increase in donations. And look at this, they hit a 45% donor retention rate.
Compare that to just 27% for organizations that don't prioritize it. The difference is massive. So, what does this look like in the real world? Well, the EduBridge Foundation came up with this brilliant proof in 90 days strategy. All they did was send simple, plain text updates at 30, 60, and 90 days, just highlighting individual student milestones. And the result? Donor retention shot up by 8%, and permanent churn, donors who leave and never come back, dropped by 30%. Simple, personal, and incredibly powerful. And this quote from David Duxbury at North Central University just ties it all together. He says, by using tech to automate marketing and segment their audience, his team could focus on that personalized touch. They spent less time on the manual grind and more time actually connecting with their donors. And wouldn't you know it, that led to a 12% increase in giving.
Which leads us perfectly into our third and final pillar, proving your impact. Okay, so you've used tech to be efficient, you've used storytelling to connect emotionally. Now you've got to close the loop by showing real, tangible, measurable results. That's how you build that unbreakable trust. A really powerful tool for this is something called social return on investment, or SROI. Now, this isn't just about money. SROI is a framework that tries to quantify the total value your organization creates, social, environmental, and economic. It basically answers the question, for every dollar you get, how much good are you actually creating in the world? And that is one heck of a story to tell. For example, JVS Greater Boston used SROI, and they found that for every single dollar invested in their programs, they created an incredible $20 in total social value for their community. Can you imagine sharing that number with a potential sponsor? It completely changes the conversation. And of course, technology is pushing this transparency idea even further. We're starting to see the rise of tools like blockchain, like Helen High from the Binance Charity Foundation mentions here. These platforms can literally track a donation from the moment it's given all the way to the person who receives it, making sure there's complete transparency and accountability. Okay, so let's tie this all together and start looking ahead. Building a future-ready program really means weaving these three pillars together. But what other trends should you have on your radar as we head towards 2026? All right, here are a few big ones to watch. AI-powered personalization, it's gonna become the standard, not the exception. Subscription-based giving, which already makes up 31% of online revenue, is just gonna keep growing. Corporate partnerships are gonna be all about ESG goals. That's environmental, social, and governance. Virtual and hybrid events, they're here to stay, and they're delivering a 35% higher ROI. And you've got to keep an eye on micro-influencers. They're getting 5 to 10 times more engagement than the big names. But at the end of the day, the path to success in 2026 isn't about picking just one of these things. It's about how you integrate all three. A foundation of smart tech used to power real human storytelling, all backed up by transparent, provable impact. That's the formula right there. And that leaves us with one last big question. Your donors, with all their expectations for personalization, for transparency, for real connection, they're already living in the future. The only question left is, are you ready to meet them there? Thanks for tuning in.